Yes, sir.
All right, we're on and running. I call the meeting of the Board of Adjustment to order. Would you call the roll, please, ma'am?
Chairman Tamaez,
I'm here.
Board Member Beaver,
Here.
Board Member Hilliard, absent, Board Member Rowe, and Board Member Sorrell.
Here.
All right. Let's talk about the minutes of the last meeting, gentlemen. Pull those up and take a look at them. And the floor is open for commentary or a motion.
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Tom, you gotta turn your microphone on. Any old microphone will do. All right, so here's what we're up to. We're sitting as 4 right now. We're expecting another one to show up. To win your, there you go. We have number 5 right here. Never mind that. Okay, so the next order of business is to swear in the witnesses. Anybody that wants to speak for, against, or make any other comment respecting the 2 items that are on the agenda that was published, please stand, raise your right hand, be sworn so that we can do that all at one time, and we won't have to do it individually later on.
Okay.
If you're going to testify or speak to us, you need to stand up and be sworn.
Okay. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
All right. We're looking now at file PZ 2023-182. It's a request for a variance to minimum side yard and rear yard setback requirements applied by Jennifer Smith for a location at 2375 Irving Avenue. Could we have the staff report on that issue, please?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. File PZ 2023-182 is a request for a variance to the minimum side yard and rear yard setback requirements for a house. Integrity Homes is requesting the variance for the property located at 2375 Irving Avenue. The property is owned residential multiple family dwelling, highest density, and requires a minimum rear setback of 15 feet, interior yard side setback of 7.5 feet for a 2-story structure, and exterior side setback of 10 feet. The applicant is requesting that rear setback be reduced to 3 feet, the interior side setback be reduced to 3 feet, and the interior, and the exterior side setback be reduced to 5 feet for a new house. This will be a home that's provided through the General Land Office Homeowners Assistance Program for disaster recovery. The lot is very small. It's approximately 50 by 62 feet. The existing house sits approximately where these setbacks are that they're requesting. And I do have some slides to show you.
Mm-hmm.
The screen, you see the location of the subject property is outlined in red. And this is a site plan for the property, the proposed layout for the new house. There's a landing with a lift on the north side of the building, as opposed to your big ramp that they do for the ADA access these days. And that on that side, they will meet the setback requirements. On the other 3 sides, so on the Irving side, opposite the Irving side, and opposite Stanton Street, all 3 sides are where they're asking for the variances. This is a picture of the existing house, and you can see it sits very close to Irving Street. The fence is approximately where the property line is located. This is that setback or the property line that's opposite Stanton Street. And I've got an oval around the survey flag that separates the 2 properties. And I put a red line back approximately where the fence for the neighboring house ends. It's a wooden fence. It's hard to see in the photo. I just thought it might help you see. It's an assumption, but I believe that's probably where the back corner is of the property, because that's where their 6-foot privacy fence ends. And then this is the back side. This is where I'm on Stanton, and I'm looking across what they call the rear of the house. It's actually the side property line, but it's the rear of the structure. And you can see the survey state. I've got it circled there for you. So that fence pretty much is the property line on that side, and you can see how close the house. Like I said, it sits very close to that, those three sides, the existing house. And what they're going back with will sit pretty close to the same location where that house is sitting now. And that's all the slides I have for you. We did send notices to property owners within 200 feet. We sent 36 notices. We received a number of phone calls, but we did not receive any written responses in favor or in opposition to the request.
Okay.
But the applicant is in the audience. Do you have any other questions for me?
Yes, is the actual request for the variance written up with this detail in it as to which side is being moved, how far, or which side is being requested?
Yes, the letter that they submitted
Okay,
does state those setback requests.
okay. As long as that detail is written down somewhere that's, so that when we make a motion, if we make a motion, we can make sure that we reference that. We don't necessarily have to repeat it word for word, but we need to make sure that that's cleanly in this. Any other questions?
So the request refers to reducing the interior to 3 feet setback, to 3 feet, and the interior side setback to 3 feet, and then another one to 5 feet.
Yeah, so instead of 7.5 feet for the interior side yard setback, which is at the rear of the existing house, they'd like to be 3 feet from that
Okay.
side.
In this drawing here is indicating 4 feet.
That's where the house is gonna sit. They're asking for the variance to be 3 feet. I think they're trying to give themselves some room in case the house doesn't get set exactly where they want it. They'd rather have, and like I said, the applicant is here, but that's how I took that.
Okay, thank you.
Because they're, yes, and especially on the Irving Street side, they technically, I think, could slide the house back a little bit and meet the setback, but they're asking to be closer to Irving Street for the variance than what is required. So I think it's all about giving them some room to move the structure.
And is the Irving Street side the 5-foot setback variance?
Yes.
On the Irving side, it should be, the exterior setback would be 10 feet, and they're asking to be 5 feet, yes.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
It's a little bit confusing because the house does not face the front of the lot. The lot is platted, as it is platted, the narrowest street frontage, which is Stanton Street, is by ordinance the front property line.
Okay.
But the house is facing Irving Street, so it gets a little bit confusing.
So when we talk about, let's make sure we get this squared up. So that when we do this, we make sure that this is correct. Because the request was written in terms of the names of the streets instead of the names of the classification of the side.
I think they get confused about what we consider front, side, rear,
Well,
because
they
it's
didn't even
different. They
talk
want-
in those terms. They were just talking about the Irving Street side, okay.
Right.
So here's where we are. The applicant is requesting the rear setback be reduced to 3 feet. The rear setback is opposite,
It's the bottom of your screen,
opposite Stanton, okay?
opposite Stanton.
Stanton. The interior side setback be reduced to 3 feet,
And opposite Irving. It's
That's
on the right hand of your screen.
opposite Irving. And the exterior setback be reduced to 5 feet,
Which is along Irving.
which is along Irving. Okay? And so, all right. So any other questions of the witness?
No, sir.
My suggestion is that we interlineate this into the motion so that we're clean on that whenever we have a motion. Okay? That's just a suggestion. Okay. Applicant bears the burden of proof. If the applicant's here, we'd like to hear from you. Come tell us who you are. Be sure to tell us your address because for some reason that's very significant to some people.
The address where I live?
And your relationship to the property, and then just tell us whatever you like.
Okay. Todd DeWalt, Director of Construction, Integrity Homes. I live in Spring, 28310 Hollow Springs Lane, Spring, Texas, 77386. We're here, and she was correct. We wanted to give ourselves a little bit of leeway as we get in there. We demo this older house. Sometimes we ran into other situations where we've had to shift the foundation a little bit or the house a little bit. So we wanted to give ourselves a little bit of room there as we knock down these older homes and rebuild them. With the lot right now, we're pretty much going back in the same footprint, not exactly, but roughly the same area. The current house is over the build line now and actually has flat work that goes over the property line. My understanding is that the property behind her is actually owned by her mother. That's why there's never been an issue with them going over that. We're not looking to go over the property line. We're just looking to stay, basically push the boundaries on the build lines, but still stay within the property.
Are you planning on putting a two-story house or one-story house?
One story,
And you're planning on putting it on some type of pier system?
correct.
Okay. Any other questions of the witness? Go ahead. Turn your microphone
Yeah. I thought I did.
on. All right.
Hey, Adina, on that setback on the Urban Street side, we got that landing out there. It can be over the 5 foot. That's the question we had for the landings can be over the setback, just not the porch.
If there's a cover and the cover has supports, those supports must meet the setback.
Okay.
But if it's cantilevered, it can cantilever out over the property line.
The landing is okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? By anybody? Of any witness? Okay. Anything else you want to tell us? If not, then we'll sit back for a second and see, does anybody have a motion?
Okay, thank you.
All right. So, so here we go. If there's a motion, the motion is to grant a variance that the rear setback, which is the side opposite Stanton, be reduced to 3 feet, that the interior side setback, which is the side of the building opposite Irving, be reduced to 3 feet, and that the exterior side setback, which is the side of the lot along Irving, paralleling Irving, be reduced to 5 feet for the construction of a new house.
Could we second that?
Well, I hadn't made the motion. I'm just saying if there's a motion, has somebody want to make that motion?
I'll make that.
Okay. We have Mr. Hilliard making the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Beaver seconds. Would you call the roll for a vote, please, ma'am?
Chairman Tamayo,
I'm for it.
Board Member Beaver,
For it.
Board Member Hilliard,
Four.
Board Member Rowe, and Board Member Sorrell.
For it.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yep.
Next up is our second and only other item on the agenda, which is PZ 2023-200, request for a variance for property at 5775 Sunbird Lane for a carport, requesting a setback reduction from 25 feet to 1 foot. Okay, so could we hear the staff report on that, please, ma'am?
Yes, sir. File PZ 2023-200 is a request for a variance to the minimum front yard setback requirement for a carport. Mr. Cooper is requesting a variance for the property located at 5775 Sunbird Lane. He would like to construct a carport in the required front yard. Carports are permitted in the required front yard if there is no existing garage or access to the rear yard. Mr. Cooper, however, has an existing garage. The property is zoned residential single-family and therefore requires a 25-foot building setback from the front property line. The applicant requests the required setback be reduced from 25 feet to 1 foot to allow the carport. The applicant shall have the burden of proof to demonstrate all three conditions necessary for approval. We did send notices to 27 property owners within 200 feet, and we've received none in favor or in opposition. Again, we did receive several phone calls asking about what it was about, but nobody submitted a written response either way. I do have some slides for you. The property outlined in red is the subject property on Sunbird Lane. This is a picture of the site plan. It's a little difficult to see. The street is at the top of the page where it says street up there. It's kind of hidden. And the carport will be 1 foot from the property line. I circled the 1 foot there to show where they labeled that. This is the subject property. You can see they have a garage, and they have a one-car garage with a driveway. And there's been a lot of reference to the neighboring property. And now the neighboring property was at the counter the other day, and this has been there for close to 30 years. How it was permitted, I can't say. But it was done in about 1995, if I understand correctly. So that is all I have for you. And I believe the property line is going to be there where that first joint is in the driveway,
That's right.
approximately.
Just gonna say. House is sitting back. House is sitting way back.
And he didn't need to get a variance.
Hearing none. Who else, if anyone, wants to speak for, against, or otherwise have a comment with respect to this item that's on our agenda today? The applicant has the burden of proof. If you're the applicant, you really should show up.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so please tell us your name, your address, your relationship to the property, and whatever else you'd like to speak.
Okay, my name is Calvin H. Cooper Jr. I'm a homeowner at 5775 Sunbird Lane, and I was making an application for an addition to a carport for convenience. I have a single car driveway, single car garage, and I just wanted to add an additional convenience so that I can get in and out of the weather without any problem.
Oh, sorry. Any questions of the witness from anybody?
Your proposed carport will be open air.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? Yep. Mr. Rowe?
So this 30-foot dimension from the front wall, you feel like that's accurate? You're wanting 30 foot of carport? You're wanting 30 foot of carport? I'm just trying to follow your sketch, because that seems like usually it's 25 foot setback is normal.
20, 25, 23.
Yeah. Oh, is that what it, oh, that's to the pitch. Okay, never mind. 24 feet, okay. I read it wrong.
How many it's gonna be a single carport?
Yes, a single carport, open air carport.
When I'm looking at your picture right here, you have two vehicles there now, and look like your truck is in the drive approach right now.
It won't be under carport.
Do you think that when you got two vehicles there, I don't know if both of them go be under the carport? Which one are you trying to protect?
No, both of them will not be under the carport. One will definitely be under the carport. The other will extend a little bit beyond the carport.
She's not sworn in. All right. Any other questions of the witness? Okay. Anything else you want to tell us, or we're available to hear it. If not, then we'll close the evidence and we'll have a discussion about it.
Okay, so that's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So, yep. Yeah. Well, there was other stuff in the neighborhood, but it was not immediately next door. She had pictures outside the neighborhood too, yes. But there was, no, ma'am, you may not. You weren't sworn, and if you'd like to speak, you need to be sworn because we take evidence from sworn witnesses only. We can let her be sworn if
Can
she
she be
wants to be
sworn
added.
in?
He's visually impaired. He doesn't see what's up there. That's why he couldn't answer that. It's glaucoma.
Yeah. Okay.
When they took that picture.
Ma'am, if you want to talk to us, you need to stand and be sworn. Otherwise, please don't muddy the waters.
I'm trying to understand the nature of concern. It's a single car extended straight down the driveway. It will be, and I'm requesting a variance clearance because I do not want to violate any code or any building regulations, any city ordinance, and it's not going to encroach or infringe or impede upon my neighbors. And it's just for my convenience. It's I thought, a relatively simple project that I was undergoing. So that's why I'm here today. I have to adjust for my vision. I can see basically the screen, but in answering to your question about the car being the truck extending beyond the carport, yes, it'll extend a little bit beyond it, but I'm willing to sacrifice that if I can get the carport to cover one of my automobiles. So I'm fine with that.
I think we understood that the first time you told us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. So let's get back to where we were. Is there a motion to be made on this? And who wants to make it? Everybody else is complying. I understand. Well, I understand. So the real question though now is, does somebody want to make a motion? And if somebody makes a motion, can we get a second? Okay, Mr. Beavers, make a motion.
I move to approve file PZ 2023-200 to grant a variance from 25-foot building setback to 1 foot to allow the carport.
Is there a second to the motion? Okay, Mr. Sorrell seconds. Would you call the roll for a vote, please, ma'am?
Chairman Tamaez,
I vote against the motion.
Board Member Beaver,
I'm for it.
Board Member Hilliard,
4.
Board Member Rowe, Board Member Sorrell.
Okay. Your request for variance failed. You need 4 out of 5 to pass it. So the decision is that your request is declined. Okay. Is there any other business to come before the group? And if not, we are adjourned.